So Gabriel, tell me, what do you like today?
I like to do like this, like a mid fade, and a little bit drop right here.
Low to mid?
Yeah, low to mid,
Uh-huh.
and pushing forward, messy, texturized.
We want something heavy here on the
Yep.
corners.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, nice. That's what you want?
Yeah.
Okay. Welcome everybody to Invictus Barber Academy. And the idea today here is to make this guy, my client, look good and feel good. Welcome to Invictus Barber Academy again. And I always like to see you guys here. It means that you guys are growing. It means that you're having progress. Steps that I take, I always follow, that is necessary to have a great result within your haircuts. First one is consultation, preparation, application, and finalization. The idea of consultation is you need to make sure to extract enough information so that provides you what you're going to do and what you're not going to do in any style, in any haircut for any clients. The idea of preparation is you have to prepare before you apply any technique. You have to be ready. You have to know your hand position, your body position. You have to know the techniques that is going to be applied. Application. You need to apply all your knowledge. You need to apply every single detail, everything that you have learned to be able to make the perfect look for your client. The finalization is the style, the detail with your hands, choosing the right product. And when we look at a hair like this, what I first do is I want to create something that will fit his profile, will fit his age, will fit who he is, to make sure what I'm gonna do. He has beard, the first thing I look at it is I separate his face in 3 sections. So I can identify the face shape he has, and I can use facial hair to create something specific for his facial profile. What I do, I separate into 3 sections. 1, chin, nose, 1 section, nose to eyebrows, eyebrows to the top of the head, like here. So when I look at the first section, I look at his chin, how much chin he has, if it is pointy, if it's rounded, if it's more like blocky, like square, and I use hair to compensate that area. Now I look for the second section on his face, is above his nose, between his nose and eyebrows. For the jaw, I look for the jaw structure, and then I use whatever I can do, whatever I can have with the hair on his face around this area here to compensate, use hair and lines to compensate what it needs to be compensated. And here, the last section, the third section, what I look at it is from the side. I look at it if he has a soft forehead, and I'm gonna use the hair to compensate and make look more masculine for him, something that will fit him. The picture he showed me, what we need to do, he has a normal head, size of head, and he has enough head so we can play with. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna keep here very dense and structured, square. I'm gonna do like a low to mid fade in here. I'm gonna have a little bit of the transition will be more light to dark right away, and the top he's going to style forward with a lot of texture. And I'm gonna make a long hair on the crown, apex, and a little bit below the crown here, with a lot of texture, a lot of movement. That's what he wants. And follow me step by step, get a model, and let's do this. As you already know, we did our consultation already. Now is my preparation, wetting out the hair, finding the growth patterns, which direction the hair growth, the natural hair growth. understanding where I'm going to section the hair, this is a form of preparation, where I'm going to start and how I'm going to do that, what kind of sections that I'm going to take to achieve my result. This is what I meant when I say I follow the hair natural growth pattern. You see this hair spiking a little bit? It's because this hair wants to go in the other direction. Now you see this hair here wants to come down, this hair here wants to go forward, this one wants to grow down, and this one wants to move forward like this, and everything is gonna sit perfect when I finish. And I'm going to have enough length here to be able to control this hair around this cowlick area. So now I'm going to create my base with graduation on the sides and flat layers in the back, okay? So now my first section will be vertical, but as you can see, it's a little bit in diagonal because I'm just following the hair natural growth. You see, the hair grows natural this way. So that's how I'm taking my first section. But at the end, it's going to be square, okay? I'm going to leave long to short here. So what I'm using here, I'm using a traveling guide, which is the guide that I took from the center. Is the one that traveled with me all the way to the temple bone. So now here is my traveling guide. I'm going to take a new section and I'm going to bring my traveling guide to the center, and the new one, we're going to meet them together on the center, and I'm cutting following my traveling guide length. The length that I chose was the first guide. Last section. The angle of my finger, the tip of my finger opens up, and the knuckle of my finger stays close to the head. Now I have length here and length here. So from this length, I'm gonna cut both sides. So from this length and this length now, I'm gonna cut both sides in diagonal forward. So now I'm going to take diagonal forward to create a little bit of graduation. Now I have my guide here, and I'm gonna get my next section and I'm gonna join them together in the center, and I'm gonna cut my new section from my old section. What I'm gonna do here, open up my finger, the hair from high on his parietal ridge is longer than the hair that is close to my knuckle here. So that's my new section, a little bit from the old one, join them together, open up your fingers and continue to do that. Always work clean with your sections, because your result will be much cleaner too. The hair will fall and sit natural on his parietal ridge. So now I do the same thing on the other side. So now I have a little bit of my section from the back and a new section. I open up, leave the tip of my finger in his head, separate a little bit, a piece of the old one, and take a new one. Hold the hair, put your finger, groom everything on top of your finger, open up. Long to short. Open up. So now, the idea is to maintain length and strength, and the corners and back be heavy, as you saw in the picture and what he asked me. So now, what I'm gonna do, I'm going to take one section on the center of the head, I'm going to find my guide from, so now I'm going to bring a little piece from the crown. I'm going to drive this piece all the way to the top of the head, and I'm going to cut blunt and straight. So I'm going to lift everything square, because if I don't want to soften out this area, it's kind of thinning out here. I want this hair follow more heavy here. That's why I lift the hair more square and cut it. So now I have my profile guide in the center. Very easy. I'm just gonna cut both sides. Follow the center, the profile. All the way back to the crown. So the corners in here, I want to maintain heavy and long and with lots of structure. What I'm going to do, I'm going to place my section and I'm going to lift and a little bit of angle following my profile guide here in the center. In this side now, I'm lifting the tip of my finger, and there's a bunch of ways you can do this. So now I want to add some texture here while his hair is damp. I'm slicing. As you can see, I'm not doing a fringe. Reason why, because I want the fringe heavier. The crown here the same. I want to make sure I'll do where it needs to be done. One way to make sure his fringe is going to be heavy is to pull every single string straight down. I'm not cutting much because his fringe is already short. So all the hair is gonna come down with no elevation. I saw his hair in its most natural form, and what I discovered is his hair doesn't need any moisture. His hair only needs to keep keep it in the most natural look. His hair is shiny already, it's not dry. So that's why I found out that this product, like a paste, is going to give him a silk look, natural look. Now I'm going to use like a wider nozzle because I want to start drying from his crown. I'm gonna place my finger, my index finger, right on the center of his cowlick, and I'm going to blow around. So the product will dry on the product will dry on the hair. So, and then I'm gonna create my structure before I start fading on the sides. I dry first. I'm gonna create the whole shape and style on top before I start fading here. A little bit without the nozzle. The hair follow its natural pattern now. You see? Nozzle, I'm going to already dry a little bit. I'm creating some volume here with my own hands, because since I have product, the hair is going to be drying the product onto the hair, not into the hair. I'm drying this hair on the opposite direction back here because I want to create more like a more movement back here. So now I'm going to use my diffuser, my fingers, my hands, so to lift this hair up and gain some more volume here. Guys, styling hair is not just a simple like blowing with any pressure, with any heat, or applying any type of product. Is having the idea, you have something in your mind before you start doing all this. As you notice, I used my blow dryer with the wider nozzle, without the nozzle, and with the diffuser. Now again without the diffuser, when without the nozzle, just on the fringe, because I want to push this hair forward. As you can see here, how much volume I create. Look, just by blow drying the hair here. So now I'm going to use like low pressure and low heat just on the fringe, just to push the hair on the fringe down. And then on the apex, I kind of push backwards, so I'm creating my shape. Now I'm going to start his fade in a different way that you guys never saw here before. What I'm gonna do, I'm not placing my trimmers upside down like this and mark like a harsh line. What I'm going to do, I'm going to remove without debulking. And without making a harsh line. This is the first time you're going to see me fading this way. But once you understand the fundamentals, the principles of fading and hair cutting fundamentals, you only change its sequences of guidelines and how you use your sequence, and how you use your guards, and how you use your clippers and trimmers. no harsh line. 1.5 closed. One finger width. Just be careful, if I go too high, I'm gonna kill my style, I'm gonna kill my shape. I'm gonna change the shape. All this I wanna maintain. In my guidelines, it's gonna come in a triangular shape towards the nape. One and a half close. In a triangular shape here too. Just making sure if I have consistent in my shape and my guideline. The first time you saw me never debulking before is this time. So I use trimmer, kind of scooping out, and then I use 1.5 closed, a finger width higher, and now I'm coming with my half open, and you start blending this line. I almost like working with the free hands, because what I want to have is I want to have like a dark transition, and I want to have more contrast. So half open. If you notice, I was using my comb because I had to cut, but now I was using 1.5 open. Now I'm gonna close all the way down to 0 gap. So I'm using my lever, little by little, I'm closing until the line gets disappeared. But of course I'm gonna have to use 0 open here, halfway closed and closed. And I'm using my brush, my fading brush. Since I don't use enhancement in my hairstyles, my haircuts, I have to make sure the fade is gonna look all lines simple. I'm just tapping my lever little by little. The problem in fading with the minimum space that you have from the hairline in your base, this is my base, is you have minimum space to work. And in here you have to have a lot of experience in how you work with your guards, how high you're gonna go, where you're going to stop, how high you're going to stop, and you need to work with your guards like more in free hands. 0 open. Trying to place all the flat blade first, the whole blade on the skin. Remove, debulk first, and then we use the corners. I'm gonna place my trimmers. You see this line? I'm gonna push it up. Turn my trimmers upside down. and finish fading. Going high with the corners. Here the same. Pushing up. Now I'm going to remove the remaining hair. That's where I'm going to use my shavers. Remember where I just finished cleaning the remaining hair that was around the hairline? That's where I'm using my shavers now. I'm not going higher than that. Maintain my body position. What I'm going to do, I'm going to create my C-cup line. So now I'm going to use my shears, scissor over comb. I'm going to pick up this hair right on this weight here, in this heavy line. Pick up the hair. Once the hair hits the bottom of the comb, I'm going to tilt out. So the hair from the top is going to be long, and the hair from this line is going to be faded by only using shears. And I want to maintain my weight. Very, very heavy. So now I'm going to use a point cutting technique. Just to make sure I blend this fade well. Now here. So now, the same thing here on this side. Groom it down. I'm working with my trimmers. I'm going to repeat everything I done on the other side. Just replicate every single movement, every single guard, every single guideline. 1.5 close, finger width around. Half open. I'm crossing my guards and my guidelines. So here and here. So closing down my half all the way down to half closed, and the line will start disappearing right now. Going to be blended soon. Zero open. Working with my lever. So finishing now with the trimmers. So now you guys gonna see me working with the shears in a different angle. Pick the hair and cut until the hair comes off the comb, but doesn't go, it's not going straight up. The comb is coming off the head. This style is very trendy right now, but a lot of barber has difficulties in applying those techniques and achieve this shape, achieve this result. kind of you scooping the hair with a comb. Barbering comb side. Guys, I'm giving him a little treat. I'm fading out his beard. Like I said in one of the classes that I gave here, don't ever let your client go with a line like this. Just fade it, and then you can let them go. So unprofessional. You don't have to do the whole thing, because otherwise you're gonna have to charge for your service. A little bit fade here, just don't let him go without make him look good. So now I'm going to add some texture here, just a little, so I gain more. When I apply my product, I can have more control of the hair. Just a little texture, no volume. Pick up the hair, and then the hair will connect better. Before I go into the top, adding some texture, I'm doing here first on the corners, then back. What's going to happen here? The hair, it can be styled without any product because the hair is going to be very, very light. I'm just following its natural direction. When his fringe fall heavy, I'm not going to do that. Guys, as always, I'm gonna apply a little bit of volume powder. Has some hold. I'm gonna lift this hair. I'm gonna gain some volume on the corners, put it down, and make the fringe a little heavier. All over. I want his head very textured and very heavy and with lots of movement throughout the back, crown, sides. But here no, here just want the hair lay low, natural. So now I didn't use my hands yet. The powder is still there. I'm gonna mix both, not in my hands, but now mixing right here while I'm already seeing the style that I want to create. I'm using my creativity, using my mind to be able to create something different for him, something very more appropriate. So now, guys, I haven't shown you something that I haven't shown you yet. What I'm gonna use low pressure with a low heat on the corners to lift out the hair using my fingers. And then I'm gonna give you the last details with some comb, my fingers, my hands. I'm gonna make here more heavy, create something here using my imagination. And I'm gonna lift the corners. Let me show you how I do this, okay? Low pressure, low heat. And now only on the corners, this is gonna lift, look. That's how you create your shape, your style, adding some volume. Last details, I'm using two combs. I'm using my regular comb, barbering comb, and a comb with the tooth that is wider. So now, last details I'm working on right now. You need to use what you have in hands, but you also have to have product knowledge, tools knowledge. You need to know what you're doing, what kind of product you're going to apply, what kind of tools and techniques is going to be using each style, each type of hair. So now I'm going to use my wider comb. I'm going to lift with my my bare hands. Now you can see it's very messy back here. This is it. This is when you know the techniques you apply, you understand in hair shape, you understand line, you understand all the fundamentals, and you use the fundamentals to create anything you like, anything that comes up in your mind, because we have, as a barber, we have a creativity, very creative mind, so we can create shape and style using hair as a white canvas, and then we create anything we want. And this is the final result. You saw the step-by-step, beautiful piece, as you can see. I add lots of texture, maintain weight on the corners here and back. I'm going to show you soon. And then here I create a lots of weight, cutting flat layers, and then the layers, the hair will drop in his forehead. I'm going to turn him around so you can see how much strength and how much length I have all over. You see how dark I left here. If you can achieve these, just follow the steps. You will do better than me. So here, that's the result, the final result. Here we go. That's it, guys. You saw live the presentation, a full tutorial, every single step that I use behind the chair, but always keep it in mind that everything that you do for your client so they can feel good and look good, feel comfortable. And keep it in mind that you have four steps, the 4 step that is major, that you have to use before you start cutting anybody's hair. It is consultation, preparation, application, and finalization. When you combine both, when you combine all of those 4 elements, the haircut result will be the one you expected. You're going to feel fulfilled as well, your client. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next class.